mentioned now Google Classroom. Lots of you, I think all of you, or almost all of you, are familiar with Google Classroom and know what you're doing, so feel free to ignore this video. Just a couple of things that I found useful in virtual teaching. If you have a child, if you're lucky enough to have a child that is enrolled in a Durham Bishop School Board, I would suggest that you create a tutorial class like this. And if you create a tutorial class like this, you can assign your daughter or your son to be a student in the class. And the reason I find this useful is when I create assignments and stuff like that, sometimes I want to view it, particularly when I'm doing tutorials like this, I want to be able to show the students what they actually see from their end. So this is one way you can do that, is I can then log in on a different computer under my daughter's account, and then I can screencastify what their screen will actually look like. Because if I do it from my actual classroom screen, this is what my classroom screen looks like, you know that it doesn't always look exactly like it does for students. So that's one thing I would suggest that you do, is to create a tutorial class if you've got that capability and assign just a student. This is my Google Classroom that I've assigned for virtual teaching. A couple of things, if you're not familiar with it, is I would always encourage students to, I know Google Classroom originally always defaults to open in the stream view, which is fine. I do tend to find that I try to encourage kids to switch to the classwork tab. And what I've done here is I've created topics. Now, it's not fancy. You can find ways of fancying this up and making it pretty with other stuff. But if you are unfamiliar with how to make topics, this is one way of helping kids stay organized. So I have a communication log, and then I have my different subject areas. And that way, it helps them stay. So when you go to create, you're just going to create a topic, and that will create these. You can obviously move these around and drag them, right? And that works that way. That would be one way to stay organized. I don't necessarily like using the marks in Google Classroom, particularly at this age level where they're not using actual percentages. I wouldn't do that. So setting it up, I would leave the marking thing, I would leave it blank, right? No mark categories or stuff like that. One thing I did do, which you may want to do, up to you, is when you extend this, I have a Flipgrid account that's dedicated to this class. So up in the settings, I've put a direct link to the Flipgrid, so they can copy this then, this Flipgrid link. And if they open another tab, multiple tabs, and they paste that, it should take them directly into Flipgrid. And I imagine that I will use Flipgrid quite a bit this year in terms of getting kids to verbalize responses instead of doing so much writing. Flipgrid seems super slow. I'm imagining it's because I'm trying to record at the same time. But if you're unfamiliar with Flipgrid, I'd say it's a pretty useful tool right now. It would be one that I would highly recommend you look at. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. There you go. So just again, join with Google. Sorry. And it will eventually all sort itself out. It just takes a while. So this is the grade 6 one, and then as you see, there'll be topics added down here as we go through. Okay, hope that helps. So yeah, tutorial. The other thing, calendar. When the kids get used to using this would be something to help parents and students to just keep themselves organized. All right, take care.